Have you ever had a moment in life when suddenly something became very clear? और आपने सोचा ये तो मेरे सामने ही था. Sometimes the biggest truths in our lives are not hidden. They are not complicated mysteries. They're simply right in front of us. But for some reason, we don't see them immediately. Hi, I'm Disha, and welcome to Right in Front of Me. This is a space where we pause for a moment, slow down a little, and reflect on the things life quietly shows us. Life usually moves very fast. हम decisions ले रहे होते हैं, relationships manage कर रहे होते हैं, responsibilities handle कर रहे होते हैं, और इस सब के बीच में we rarely stop and ask ourselves simple questions. What am I really feeling? What am I ignoring? What is life trying to show me right now? And very often, the answers to these questions are not far away. They're already present in our lives, in our experiences, in the people we meet, in the patterns we notice. This podcast is not about giving perfect answers. It's not about even giving you any answers. It's about exploring honest questions. Questions about life, questions about relationships, questions about human behavior. Through these episodes, we'll talk about things like why do we sometimes ignore our intuition? Why do some connections feel incredibly powerful, even when they are so confusing? Why do we stay in situations where something inside us knows that something isn't right? And sometimes we'll talk about the moments when clarity suddenly appears. These moments when you look back at a situation and think, the signs were always there. Life has a very interesting way of teaching us things. Sometimes the lessons are gentle. Sometimes they arrive through experiences we didn't expect. And sometimes the biggest realizations happen quietly. Not in dramatic moments, but in reflection. When we finally slow down enough to see what was always there. The idea behind Right in Front of Me is very simple. Sometimes the truths that shape our lives are not hidden somewhere far away. They're already present in our experiences, in our relationships, in our choices. We just need to pause long enough to notice them. And that's what this podcast is about. Taking that pause, reflecting, understanding ourselves a little better. In the coming episodes, we'll explore topics like why we ignore red flags, the difference between attention and love, loneliness inside relationships, and the people who enter our lives only to change something within us. These are reflections many of us experience but rarely talk about openly. And maybe by exploring them together, we can start noticing things a little more clearly. Because sometimes the most important truths in our life are not hidden. They're simply waiting for us to notice them right in front of us.